Hey, listen up. We got another episode of Wise Kracks, featuring the crack man himself, Bill Krackomberger, and our co-host, John Orlando, straight from Las Vegas. Wise Kracks is your ticket inside the world of sports betting, with tips, picks, special guests, and more. Only on WSN.com.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Wise Kracks. Bill Krackomberger, I'm really jazzed up because this is going to be a show like no other. We're gonna do a new on the fly new format right here today.
We've had like Dick Vitale on.
Yes.
We've had so many NFL stars. We've had so many baseball stars, and John is pumped up for our next guest.
Yes,
Mr. Bernie Fratto.
Bernie Fratto, Las Vegas local, and I have a bone to pick with you. If he's a Las Vegas local, and I'm working with you now, I want to say 3 years.
Yeah.
How is today the first day I'm meeting this guy?
I'm sorry. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Bernie, welcome to the show.
Yourself.
You're right.
It's a pleasure to be with you guys. And Bill, we go back 12 years. I never call you Bill. Crack.
I don't care.
Right?
Bill, Crack.
And you always expect the unexpected, because when I first met him, I met him through a mutual friend. We met at the Hard Rock. I goes, "I want you to meet my friend Crack Man. We'll go have dinner." So he comes walking in with Teddy Atlas. We all have dinner.
And my mind is so burnt on, ADD. I don't even remember that. But yes, I had to be with Teddy. You're saying, and I was always with him. He used to always come to Vegas when Friday Night Fights when he worked for ESPN. And unfortunately, ESPN downgraded him because Bob Arum, who is a whatever, he didn't like Teddy. He was outspoken and spoke his mind about corruption and promoters going out to dinner with the judges. Yeah, that's normal. Steinbrenner used to take the umpires out. Sure. Yeah. Okay. So Teddy called him out, and Teddy got downgraded and lost a sick amount of money.
And we'll get to my book in a second.
Sure.
But I'm not here to promote that.
We're going to talk about it though, for sure.
So I've lived this odd, crazy. Norm Clark wrote an article about me, and we're close friends, Norm and I.
I like Norm
because I've lived this odd, idiosyncratic life. For instance, every year on November 19th, it's the anniversary of the Malice at the Palace.
Yeah.
I was there.
Wow. Oh my God! Have you watched that documentary on Netflix? It's
just
so
came out about
good.
a month ago.
Yeah.
And
I gotta write it
why do I
down.
bring that up?
It's so good.
On
Who
Netflix?
was
Malice in the Palace?
and John, who was one of the referees on the floor that night? Tim Donaghy.
Right.
Yes.
Ooh.
The
I didn't know that.
cheating scandal guy.
November 19th, 2004.
That Netflix documentary is out now.
It is
unreal. It's great.
And I'll
It's
tell you,
unreal.
I'll tell you right now.
Oh, he's thinking, can I say it?
No, because I know everyone involved there.
Yeah.
I know everyone involved there. Probably didn't. I didn't know about the scandal. I didn't know they had a ref. I didn't know they had a ref in their pocket. But I was getting NBA games to bet back then. I remember them going good. I'm doing this 30 years now.
Right.
So and I know the main guys that were on. Listen, Batista, who they interviewed, Jim Batista. He was one of the, it's called the animals. They had the animals. They had seal, rooster, all different animals was the group of movers. And the big movers, which were on there, which was a guy named Tiger, he was the big guy. He's worth $100 million now. But they made the original bankroll with that. They made a giant amount of money there.
Really?
That documentary was fantastic.
So good.
But a couple parts fabricated.
Really?
A couple parts fabricated for TV. I hated that.
Like what?
Listen. There was some parts there was no one was running money to John Gotti. I mean,
Okay.
Even after it was over, my God, they called me from this. They have no idea why Netflix wanted this.
Really?
Yeah,
Just to over sensationalize it.
But I don't believe for a minute. I don't believe that Donaghy only got like 60 grand or trust me, he got more money than that.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. But the Malice in the Palace, I just wrote that down.
So good.
Yeah. So go ahead, Bernie. I'm sorry to cut you off if I did.
So, I mean, I've had a series of odd, idiosyncratic. Dooku Kim fought Boom Boom Mancini.
Yeah,
in November.
sure.
I was at the fight.
Get out of here. You were there?
Back in the day when they built
Oh,
That's the fight Boom Boom killed the guy?
Did you know Did you know when you were watching the fight, was he dead in the ring or died in the ambulance?
No, he died a couple days later in the
couple
hospital.
days later,
Right,
okay.
yeah. Like
And
3-4 days
there's a
later.
backstory to this because his mother was so distraught. She didn't believe her son was dead.
Oh.
She flies in from North Korea, witnesses the body. She knows he's dead. 2 days later, she drinks strychnine, kills herself. He stayed at the Flamingo. That's where he stayed, and he scrawled something on a lampshade in Korean that they had to bring in a translator. Said, what did he say? And he wrote on the thing, kill or be killed.
Oh, my
Wow.
God.
And it was one of the, so I've had this, you talk about documentaries, the Showtime Lakers thing on HBO.
Yep.
Yeah.
I loved it, watched it, but hated it because I was an intern at the Forum when Magic's rookie year.
You're
I had
kidding
full
me.
access to everything, yeah. And there was so much poetic license I could hardly enjoy it. They had lots of stuff wrong, but they had the disclaimer in the beginning every time.
They did.
Where this is
Right.
only, this is a dramatization. Enjoy
Right,
yourself. But
right.
but it was, a lot of that stuff didn't happen.
Man, that affected Mancini for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I was going to say he
That
was never the
and
same.
He went
He's never
back
the
to
same.
Ohio, and he got hate mail.
Yeah.
And he's a good dude.
Good dude.
Yeah.
Good guy.
My dad knows him.
Youngstown, I think. Youngstown.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was never the same.
Oh God, I didn't even know. I didn't know you're
So-
boxing guy like that too. Wow, you were there.
Well, my dad was, my dad wouldn't let me box. I took up boxing at 57. And even won a...
you took up boxing in 50?
you should see the
I got
pictures
a-
of him.
At
I got a picture.
57,
the photos.
You took up boxing?
You should see the photos of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So I got completely hooked on the sport, right? But so back to Norm Clark, who's doing well. He's in Colorado now, and the bottom line is somehow we crossed paths. He goes, "You've been at all these weird events." I said, "Yeah, it's just crazy." The night December 9th, 1977, Kermit Washington punches Rudy Tomjanovich. I was there.
Wow.
Tommy John walks off the mound in 1974. What the hell's going on? My shoulder hurts.
my God.
That's the night he got hurt.
Tommy
it just
John
never.
such-
BYU, the Miracle Bowl against SMU in 1980, when they had Eric Dickerson and Craig James. The score is 45-25 with 5 minutes left. BYU's coach, Lavelle Edwards, sends the punt team on the field. Jim McMahon goes, "Get the F out of here." You could hear him. And they score 3 touchdowns in the last 5 minutes and beat,
Oh my God. You were there for this stuff. Where'd you grow up as a little kid?
Okay, so I was born Detroit, Michigan. My mom went to University of Michigan. 6 years old and moved to the West Coast, California. My dad had a job in the aerospace industry. So I grew up in SoCal. Elementary school, high school, college, the whole schmear. 1993 on a fluke, and I married a Michigan girl, total coincidence. Had an opportunity to go back to Michigan. I said, I can't pass this up. Well, I'm trading traffic for a winter. We'll see if I like it, whatever. Stayed 17 years, absolutely loved it.
Wow.
So I was at CBS Radio there. Spent 14 years in the media. Detroit Lions pre- and post-game show for 10 years. I like to tell people I saw everything. 1998 was Barry Sanders last year. 2008 was the 0-16 team with Rod Marinelli. I covered all those teams.
Wow.
World Series, Super Bowl came there, Super Bowl 40, NBA Finals, you name it. Had a blast and got here in 2010. Had another opportunity I couldn't pass up. So I came here and I love it. And you asked how long I lived here. I lived here since 2010. But the first time I ever came to Vegas, I stayed at the Stardust. I saw Joan Rivers open up for Rich Little.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I said, I kind of like this place.
Wow.
Joan was a great comedian.
Phenomenal.
I'm
Yeah.
guessing John probably knew them, right?
Yeah,
Both
sure.
of them?
Yeah,
And
sure.
And
Rich
Little
still around.
is still around.
Well,
Yeah.
John, you probably remember, I used to stay, I knew their poker room manager at the Maxim, Russ Bennett. I always stayed at the Maxim. Best
I
kept
remember the
secret in
Maxim.
town.
It was the best kept secret,
You
guys.
walk down the street to
knock around
Batista's.
guys.
Knock around guys. Okay, so you walk down the street at a little nosh at Batista, right?
Yep,
Continue on the Barbary Coast. That was back in the days. when
Bourbon Street was there on the corner.
there you go.
Yeah, I remember.
You write a ticket. They'd write out the ticket.
Right, handwriting ticket to
handwriting
Bourbon Street.
comps.
No, when I first came to town, it was the greatest corner to stay on. It was called the Magic Corner because you had Bally's, you had Caesars, you had Bourbon Street, you had Barbary Coast. It was magic,
And
and
it
there
was
was
the
no
original MGM
That's right.
Grand before it burned
That's
down
correct,
in
before
December
it burned down.
1980.
And
right.
Chinese food at the Barbary Coast.
Oh, forget
Late
it.
night Chinese.
Yeah.
Come on, Bill. Come on.
You're not old enough for
Was that
that.
Lily Lane Trees? Was that what it was called?
Lily was at the Nugget.
That was at the Nugget.
That was a Nugget, which was great. But the Barbary was known for
You
their
walked
Chinese.
in, you made a right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only Western Union, by the way,
Was right there.
Western Union at the Barbary Coast. Only, of course, I know that from sending all my G-Gen friends money
Wait,
there.
let me tell you a quick story about your D-Gen friend,
Sorry.
okay? And this is like 2000. In 2000, I'm up all night in L.A. I go to a nightclub with my buddy Gio. You know Gio,
Yep.
I think, yeah. Okay, so I'm with Gio, and it's like, we were maybe having some party favors or whatever. Back then, I was a little bad. I was bad for 1 year, Bill.
Sure.
From 2000, 2001.
I can
was
see
a
the
little bad.
effects. Go ahead.
Yeah, lingering. And so at the club's closed at 2 o'clock in the morning in L.A., and I wasn't having it. So I tell Gio, I'm like, we're driving to Vegas right now.
No way.
He's like, no, we're not. You're in no condition to be driving. Like, absolutely not. I'm like, I am driving to Vegas right now. He's like, no, you're not. And he's bigger than me, so I can't argue with him, So I was like, all right, whatever. So he's like, promise me you're not going to drive to Vegas. I'm like, I promise I'm not going to drive to Vegas. So I drop him off, and then I start to drive to Vegas. And I call this girl that I know, And I'm like, hey, I'm driving to Vegas. And she's like, why? You don't sound like you should be driving. I'm like, nah, I'm fine. And she's like, by the time you get here, it's going to be 5 a.m. I'm like, yeah. She's like, so take a 6 a.m. flight and be here 2 hours later. What's the difference? I'm like,
interesting.
This makes sense.
Yeah.
So I drive to the airport, and I'm chilling at the airport for 3 hours, just listening to music, parked on the roof of the sobering up. Okay, so I get on the flight, I come here, and I tell Gio, hey, I flew to Vegas, you need to come to Vegas. Because I went straight to the Hard Rock, and I won like $3,500 like in 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So I call Gio, and I'm like, I wake him up, it's like 9 in the morning, right? I'm like, you need to come to Vegas today. And he goes, I'll tell you what, I'm going back to bed. I'm going to get up at 11. If you still have the money at 11 a.m., I'll get on a plane and I'll come to Vegas. I go, okay, great. I'm like, he doesn't. Of course I'm going to have the money. 11 a.m. I don't
11
have the
a.m.
money.
You're calling
no
for
more
Western
money.
Unions.
I call him and I go, I need you to Western Union me money. He goes, fine. How much? I'm like, $1,000. He's like, all right. So he wires me $1,000. I get on the thing and I'm like, oh, it's Barbary Coast. So I'm like, I don't want to spend, I have like $20 on me, but I'm like, I don't want to get a cab. So I'm like, Barbary Coast isn't that far from the Hard Rock.
It is. You didn't know
it is.
It is. I've done the same thing first time in Vegas. I don't realize I'm walking down the strip. I lost 11 pounds. Okay.
Bill, I'm wearing, we went through a phase where I was like, when we go out in LA on Friday and Saturday nights, we're going to have the power look. I was obsessed with like the power look. We wear a suit, no tie, but we wear a suit, a jacket. We look like ballers, right? So that's what I'm wearing. I'm wearing Friday night's clothes, Saturday morning in Vegas. I'm wearing a suit. It's like August 8th or something, right? So I walk from the Hard Rock and I'm walking and I'm like going down Paradise. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. I take my jacket off and I'm like sweating and then I untuck my shirt and then I like unbutton a bunch of buttons. It was brutal. I get to the Western Union and then I cab back to the Hard Rock and I blow through the money and I make him wire me more.
Oh my God.
I make him wire.
That's a famous Western Union.
I make him wire me again. So I know that Western Union very well.
But it's funny that Bernie knows that was the place there, the Maxim area. That was a wise guy knockaround area. A lot of guys come from Boston, New York, Chicago. You're right. Go ahead, Bernie. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah, so I fell in love with Las Vegas and never knew I'd be living here someday, but my life's been a series of serendipitous events like that. And gentleman Travis, you mentioned the first chapter in my book. The first night I was a credentialed media member I was with WTK Ann Arbor 1050, based in Michigan. That was the flagship for the Michigan Wolverines football team, which it still is. So June 17th, 1994, Friday night, Tigers were playing the Blue Jays. The old Tiger Stadium, which I'm sure you've probably been there, right?
Sure, I've been there.
Awesome.
Paul Molitor.
Michigan and Trumbull. Yep. Okay, we'll continue. I could go down that road too, but so here's the deal. So I show up and I get my seat in the press box and I look up. It's the first year they had monitors in the old Tiger Stadium. That was an amenity all stadiums have now, right?
Sure.
But I look up. They're not showing any game or anything. They're showing this slow white Bronco chase, but with no sound. I'm like, We're like, what the heck is going on?
This is at the stadium and on the vision screen.
Yeah, no, on the monitors in the press.
The monitors in the press box.
In the press box.
You've been in a press box. There's monitors all over. Like, I was at Raiders Denver. Legion Field's got them every 2 feet.
Yeah,
they're all that way now. But this is 1994 and it's Tiger Stadium, first year, no sound. What is going on? We don't know. But an hour later, Commander David Gascon of the LAPD comes on. He goes, we don't know what he's saying. I'm going, you got to be, all right, now you're killing me, right?
Yeah.
I had to wait till 1 o'clock in the morning when I got home, and I realized he was saying O.J. Simpson is a fugitive from justice.
Wow.
Right. Here's the kicker. So fast forward 2018, I'm working for Fox Sports Radio. One of my update anchors is David Gascon, the son of Commander David Gascon.
Unbelievable.
We've come full circle. I've got a million stories. My whole life is stories like that.
Want me to blow your mind one more step?
Go.
Where that Bronco chase finished at 360 North Rockingham, where OJ lived.
Yep.
Who lived there before OJ?
You did?
Tony Orlando.
Yep.
I never knew that.
Yep. And who lived there before we did?
I did not know that.
Who lived there before we did? James Taylor and Carly Simon.
Oh, wow.
True
that
story.
part I didn't know.
True story.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to sing Mockingbird before the show's over.
Wow.
You
Good
mentioned
story.
before we started rolling that you played minor league baseball or something?
Spent 1 year in the Cincinnati Reds organization.
Really?
In 1979, yeah.
What position?
It made me a catcher.
Wow.
So,
so Johnny Bench, that wasn't going to work.
No, and neither was bone chips on my elbow.
Okay.
Which ended my career. Back then, they didn't have arthroscopic surgery. They had a thing called butazolidine, which you give to horses.
Okay.
which probably explains why I like watching Mr. Ed reruns. But
love that.
Yeah, and hey, Wilbur, you don't love me anymore.
No one.
Travis has no clue what we're talking about right now. No clue.
Then Google it, knuckleheads.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
I wasn't alive for the War of 1812 either, but I read about it.
Right. That's perfect. I love
Figure it
that.
out.
I like that.
I don't like.
I'm going to
I
steal
wasn't
that.
alive for the War of 1812, but I read about it.
Education is an activist
I agree.
pursuit, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what I got this ring for. About like
We wanted to ask about that.
the Minor League Baseball Alumni Association was formed like in 2001. I get this thing in the mail. I'm like Mr. Hartoonian and Steve Martin and the Jerk. Hey, I'm in the phone book.
Right.
I'll get one. How much? 275. Yeah, I'll do it. So, yeah.
I mean, that's really cool. Everyone, obviously the goal is make the major leagues, but people don't realize it is so hard to play college baseball.
Yeah.
It is really hard to play minor league baseball. I mean, just to do that, whatever amount of time is.
And on my Twitter,
you can play.
My Twitter page, I got a picture of me up in the upper right in my old Tampa Tarpons uniform. So
cool.
I had long hair then, everything. And so,
Wow.
Which is another thing. I shaved my head on a bet in 2003 on the air because I grew up a huge California Angels fan when they were the California Angels, right? So, I mean, the 1979 team, Frank Tanana, they get to the playoffs, they get smoked. The 82 team, they get hammered by Milwaukee, right? It just kept falling short.
Yeah.
Finally, in 2002, they make it to the World Series. So a buddy of mine, I was working with Mike Burkus, God rest his soul. He's the founder of the National Sports Collectors Convention.
Okay.
So he's a big Yankees fan. He goes, hey, your Angels are a fluke. No way they'll win it again in 2003. I said, not only are they going to repeat in 2003, if they don't, I'll shave my head. When we get to the All-Star break, 2003, they're buried 10 games back. They're going nowhere. So I shave my head. I go, now, if the Yankees don't win, you got to shave your head. He got all pissed off and everything. I go, hey, this is pretty convenient, man. I think I'm going to keep this. No more dandruff, no more itch. Yes.
Right. Let me ask you something, because John and I are big baseball fans.
Yes.
Baseball and boxing and UFC loves. Unfortunately, that was bankroll building years for me when I was just not watching anything. Give me some of the guys on those teams. So the 2002 team, 2003 team. Who was their stars back then?
For the Yankees?
No, for the Angels.
Well, you had Darren Erstad, David Eckstein, those types of guys.
Jim Edmonds?
That was Mike.
Was he
Jim
on the
Edmonds?
team?
Mike Scioscia. Yeah,
Scioscia. Oh God,
he was the manager.
Okay,
he was the manager.
Yeah.
And there was something about the heart and soul of those teams. And the Giants, remember, had them down. That was Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think it was Rich Ortiz. Game 6, a lady named Nancy Masmanian, she was PR for the Angels. I sent her I said, listen, I'm in Detroit. I need a credential for Game 6 and 7. She took care of me. I flew out. I said, I can't miss this. You know what it's like growing up with the team.
Yeah. This was Donnie Moore, right? Donnie Moore blew was that then or no?
Okay, so
When
that's
he blew that save?
really good memory.
Was that earlier?
That was 1986.
Oh, wow. I'm way out of it. Okay, sorry.
No, there's another deal. Dave Henderson reaches over the plate with one arm. The ball stays up in the air about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And it lands on the other side. I go, I had 1 foot on the rail. We're getting ready to rush the field.
Yeah. He ended up killing himself, right?
He shot himself.
Oh, my God.
He lived in Anaheim
bothered
Hills
him
at the
so
time.
much. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was.
Right?
Yeah, there were some other issues there, but
Okay.
yes. But what's interesting about that 86 year, so Boston advances. They're playing with House's money. And that's the year the ball goes through Buckner's legs a month
behind
later.
the bag.
Behind the bag.
Roller up the line, behind the bag.
Right.
There's another game I'm back. Kirk Gibson.
Yeah.
Oh, you were there?
Deep in a season.
God.
Except here, I can't lie. I left early.
No, you didn't.
Beat the traffic.
I can't lie.
We talked about people
Here's the
not
deal.
doing this.
But no. Here's the
Wow.
deal. Here's the deal. So we get to the 9th inning. I've actually bet the A's at night. Very square play. And they're up, what? 5 to, whatever the score was. 5-3.
Canseco grand slam first inning.
Yeah, off the camera. Right
the camera,
Doink.
yeah.
So we get to the top of the 9th, and or bottom of the 9th, X coming in,
of
right?
course.
It's automatic.
Of course,
right?
automatic.
No. So I get to my car, I go listen to it on the radio. And so, first of all, again, I have a bet on the A's. So he walks, who was it? He walks, Mike.
Mike Davis.
Mike Davis, good call.
Yep.
And I had that sinking feeling right there. I felt like I had because I had a pretty sizable play. I felt like I had a.
You had a sinking feeling when Davis was on first?
Yeah, something was weird was going to happen. It was like, you got that deal. I was like,
Were you watching this live, John?
Yeah.
I had like a lit firecracker with the Tukas with
Sure.
the damn fuse about halfway down. Then Gibby comes walking up. I go, oh wait a minute. Now I'm driving.
He's limping though.
He hits that little slow roller up
Slow
first.
roll,
And
yeah.
He's like limping. You're like, oh, this
You guys are amazing.
This isn't going to work.
So anyway, reaches out over the plate, ball in the air. Season
3-2 pitch, 3-2, right?
It was 2-2.
2-2, yeah.
But the famous Scully call. In a season that's feature the improbable, we've just witnessed the impossible, right? So, going around second base. So, at that point, I lose the bet. I didn't care that I left because I was so pissed I couldn't believe it. But I actually got to hear the actual original iconic call in the car in the stadium parking lot.
Oh, my God.
That's something,
better.
right?
Almost better.
But I'm not one of those people who usually leave early, although Dodger Stadium is brutal to get out of.
Brutal. There's no way out. There's no good way out.
There's only 4 exits, and you got 60,000.
And they're all awful. Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah.
And based on wherever you park, you can't go out the exit you want to go
That's
out.
right.
Based on where you park.
John was a big
diehard.
diehard. They went to all the games. Friends with his family with Lasorda. Lasorda had him on the field. And
Sean Green was a good friend of mine. Went to Tustin High School. I know his dad very well.
I know his sister real well.
Okay.
Lisa. Yeah.
Who was it?
And I know Sean.
Fill me in.
And you probably know his dad, Ira.
Sean Green was a outfielder for the Blue Jays.
Went to the
amazing
Dodgers?
player, and then came to the Dodgers, hit 4 home runs in a game.
First round draft choice at a test. If you see
Stud.
Sean, tell him I said hello. We go way,
100
back.
million he's made playing baseball.
Wow.
Nice guy too. Super nice guy.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, since we're talking about baseball, let's talk about this season. Aaron Judge breaks the American League record.
I was on a plane. Damn it.
You were on a plane? Yeah.
I watched 3 nights in a row. What do you think about that, Bernie? Are you like people? There's just to let you know, no one's talking about this. I touch a Bible if it was here. I know a guy and other people that were hoping he did not get it. Just letting you know.
Because of betting,
They're old school guys, and they
wanted to stay with.
They
Maris.
wanted it to stay with Maris. I mean, he was dead serious too.
Really?
So, yeah.
Well, back around July 4th, the sharp money was that he wouldn't make it. It was minus 450.
Correct.
Right.
To stay under.
Yep.
Right?
And you figure people won't pitch to him,
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, through September, I checked that. Up until September 1st, Judge had only walked once every 9 at bats.
Wow.
In the month of September, he was walked once every 3.9 at bats.
That's unbelievable.
Wow.
Part of it was they're pitching around him. The other part of it was, when he was in scoring position, Yankee hitters were only 4 for 51.
Right.
So part of it was strategy too,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Look, I made peace with this a long time ago because I was with CBS Radio and the whole McGuire chase and the whole deal. And I guess I got to a point where I rationalized that the pitcher throwing the pitch is probably juiced. The catcher calling the signals is probably juiced. The center fielder chasing down the ball in the gap is probably juiced. And Bonds had a lot of pressure. McGuire had a lot of pressure. And Sosa had a lot of pressure.
What you're saying.
And they saved baseball. So let me give this some journalistic perspective, okay?
I love what you're saying.
When I broke in 94, it's very impactful to me because 3 weeks before I really became a credential member, the players had voted to strike on August 11th. We didn't think they would. They did.
Yep.
We didn't think they'd cancel the World Series. They did. It was disaster. So I had my first call-in radio show in April of 95 when there's replacement players. I had people calling in, we'll never go to another game again. I said, well, how many games did you go to last year, buddy? Oh, I don't know, 1 or 2. Sounds like a real major lifestyle change for you. But they were really angry.
Yeah.
And I'm saying,
Wow.
you know what?
I remember this.
Baseball's in trouble. Tennis was down 20%. Then the home run chase came back, and it saved the game.
That and Cal Ripken going for the record, the games, consecutive games played.
That was in 95.
Right.
And that helped a lot.
Right.
It was more regional.
And then
but you're not
98
wrong.
was the crazy, 98 was
because you're
amazing.
chasing history. You're chasing Maris. You're chasing Ruth. And there's some historic parallels. Go back to 1919, the Black Sox scandal. Baseball was killed until Babe Ruth came along, hit 60 home runs in 27. That brought the fans back. So there was a similarity. So I'll never forget this because June of 97, the Oakland A's come through town. Remember how many home runs Mark McGuire hit in 98 or 97? Hit 58. He had 34 with the A's.
Yeah.
Then he was traded at the deadline to the Cardinals. Hit 24 home runs in September.
Yeah.
The talk was starting then. Then the word Andrew Steendown came out. I said, wait a minute. Swore to God in a 40, hand to God, as they say in New Jersey. I saw the bottle of Andrew Steendown in his locker, but they sold it at GNC.
Right.
Oh my God.
It's like, what are we going to do? How are you going to?
Yeah.
And by the way, just for the record, because people screw this up all the time, baseball ratified in their bylaws in 1991 that PEDs were illegal. However, there was no testing mechanism, and there certainly was no enforcement vehicle.
Right.
In the 2002 CBA, where there was almost another strike, they agreed to testing. The union agreed to testing.
Right.
So they started testing in 2003. But they didn't have okay, what are we going to do if someone tests positive? That didn't happen until 2005.
Right. Yeah.
Now they announced your first, I think, 50 games, your first, right? And who's the first guy busted? Alex Sanchez, a little skinny outfielder for the Tigers who's built like a blood donor.
I remember him.
Right.
And I covered that team. He comes along, wow, he took steroids.
You can't just go by looks.
You can't.
I've said that for so long, and I love that what you said earlier.
How
which
polished
is
is he?
The pitchers are on it. The playing field was level. Billy Wagner was 5'10", 5'11", throwing 102 miles per hour. Get out of here. Weighing 165 pounds. Come on, man.
If you guys really want to go deep into the cookie jar, find an old Sports Illustrated article from 1972 talking about Tom House and the Braves, who had 4 guys who hit more than 40 home runs. Davey Johnson, look what their numbers were in 71 and look what they were in 73. What was going on in 72? No, I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's
Davey Johnson, the Mets manager?
He had 43 home runs as a second baseman in 72.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Let me throw this out at you on this topic. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but I used to hang out with Brady Anderson a lot.
Sure.
So Brady Anderson used to average. Yeah, Brady Anderson's nicest guy in the world. Used to average maybe 19, 20 home runs a year, but one year he hit 50. From the leadoff spot,
I remember.
Right?
Remember very well.
And everyone accused Brady of being on steroids. And Brady never confirmed or denied it, but Brady used to say this, and I used to hammer him. I used to always ask, like, come on, you could tell me, like, come on. And he said, well, either they worked and I'm the dumbest human being ever because the following year I went back to hitting 19 or 20. So if they worked, I'm an idiot because why would I quit taking it, right? Or they didn't work. It's one or the other. He's like, it doesn't make any sense, right? Because if he hits 50 home runs out of the blue one year, and then the following year he doesn't, why would he stop taking it if he was on steroids? Like, why would he just stop?
Yeah.
What's the point for the 1 year? So I said, well, then explain it to me. How did you do it? He goes, it's putting one more good swing on the ball over the course of a season. The season's what, 20-something weeks?
26 weeks.
26 weeks. So there's your, if he averages just 20, 21 homer, it's basically putting one more good swing on the ball.
So and ask Sean about this. Because Carlos Delgado taught him this.
Yeah.
When you get to a certain level in the major leagues where you're not overmatched anymore and it's just another day at work for you, these guys learn with their hand how to create backspin and lift on the ball.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Sean ever took them. And Sean hit 49 home runs.
Right.
And so, Don Mattingly, I used to love when the Yankees would come through town. I had some great conversations with Don Mattingly. Great guy, really bright guy.
Love Don Mattingly.
He's a Johnny Baseball. Okay,
Johnny Baseball.
So he talked about that too, where he learned. And there are some guys. So I don't want to cast aspersions because the truth of the matter is, we're never really going to know. And we were all complicit. We enjoyed that summer of '98.
It was the most exciting time.
It
of
was
baseball
so fun. It was so fun.
The non-fan got excited.
They did.
And I know there are a lot of sanctimonious people right now. And look, why don't we just let Aaron Judge enjoy this? You can find any angle you want. You're a numerologist. Here's a fun one for you when you got a few cream dements in you tonight. So Roger Maris hit 61 home runs in 1961. 61 years later, in 2022, Aaron Judge hits 61 home runs.
Wow.
After he hit a 61st home run 2 weeks ago, took 22 more at bats in the year 2022 to get number 60.
Wow.
Cool.
Breaking it down, Bernie. Let me ask you this. The guy that caught the ball, instant millionaire.
Oh, yeah.
We've talked about this
Married
before.
to the Bachelor.
Married to the girl from
the guy's
The
like a
Bachelor.
hedge fund trader or something.
We've talked about this.
Managing a $168 billion hedge fund.
And we've talked about this before. But I want to ask Bernie, does Judge deserve the ball? Or is it cool that the fan?
Does it go to the Hall of Fame? Like, what happens to the ball?
No, the fan can sell
once
that ball.
Once he sells it, does it go to the Hall? Is that the idea? Or Judge?
Is Judge entitled to it in some way? Didn't he earn it?
Well, the short answer is yes, of course. It's going to mean a lot more sentimentally to Aaron Judge. This is an historic record. This has been a debate. Even when Maris did it, he did it in 162 games versus Ruth 154. The only reason there's an asterisk is not to diminish the accomplishment, but just make the distinction. He had 8 more games. Still a phenomenal accomplishment. So my short answer would be yes. But beyond that point, these are highly individual things. I mean, Albert Pujols, the guy who caught the 700 ball, says, I'm not giving it back. Pujols is fine. Keep it. Souvenirs are for the fans. I don't care. Get out of here, right? But I would say, yeah, but at the same time, if I were Aaron Judge, and I wanted it that bad, I'd sit down with the guy and say, just tell me what you want. I want the ball more than you.
Let's work it out.
You're not going to give
it tickets. I get you this.
I think he's going to give it to him.
Yeah?
I think he's going to give it to him. This guy makes a name for himself. What a good guy. He's a good guy. Guys, this guy's managing $168 billion. B with a B.
Yeah.
I think he's going to give it to him.
Isn't that crazy?
You might be right.
It's sick.
Isn't that crazy?
That's sick.
It's like Priscilla Presley's daughter marrying Michael Jackson. How's that bank account look,
That's
right?
crazy, right?
Speaking of which, it's funny because now I'm friends with John's dad. We're going to get into that a little bit. I go to see the Elvis movie, and who do I text? Tony Orlando. I said, Tony, I just thought of you during that movie. What does Tony do? He gets Priscilla on the phone because he's friends with Priscilla.
He's at the South Point. I didn't even know this.
He's at the South. I didn't tell you your dad what he did. I walk out of the theater. I text Tony. Tony, right? I love this guy. The stories you told about you and Elvis together. I just love this. Something drew a parallel. He goes out of his way to get Priscilla on the phone. Because he's friends with Priscilla. So anyway, we're going to go into that part too because Bernie blew us away. Off air here.
Yeah.
Because I have to admit it, John. I don't know what he was talking about there. And he's singing the song.
This is crazy. Yeah, we'll get to that. Okay, Bernie, you just mentioned Pujols, so let's talk about that.
Pujols.
So passes Babe Ruth for second all time.
What a second half of the season he had.
How do we explain? I have a lot of friends trying to tell me people just grooved him. Pitches, to do this second half. I disagree with that. Do you think that happened? Oh God.
Well, we're somewhere in the middle. I mean, so Danny McClain looked at Mickey Mantle when he hit 536 to pass Jimmy Fox or whatever the hell. He just kind of winked and threw him a four-seamer right down the middle. And I don't know if that happened, but you still got to square up the bat.
You still got to do it,
right? And look, Pujols has been in the game too long and been such a likable guy. Talked to him during the 2006 World Series when they beat the Tigers in 5. I covered that series.
Good guy?
Oh, yeah.
He seems
really a good guy and just loves life, loves people, loves the game, family man, the whole deal.
Good.
And one of the reasons I want him to cut him a break is because when the Mitchell report came out in 2007, there were 105 names. So they started to vet the names, and there were 105 names. Albert Pujols' name was on it. Then when the final Mitchell report was submitted to Major League Baseball, his name was removed. That has caused speculation for 20 years. Should have never been there in the first place. Was somebody cutting him a favor because baseball didn't want the black eye? We're never going to know. Look, I refuse to have those kind of discussions, with all due respect, because he hit the home runs, okay?
Yep.
If you think it's so easy, grab a bat.
And by the way, I agree with you. I wasn't bringing it up because I think he's dirty. I'm bringing it up because people keep talking about it.
Well, it's come up. So, look, there are written accounts of he had 6, 7 at-bats, and the pitchers, they kept the ball over the middle of the plate to give him a chance, okay? They were trying to get him out, but the truth of the matter is, they weren't pitching him away. But regardless, you still got to do it.
You still got to do it. I agree.
Beautiful.
I agree. Playoffs, new format, 12 teams, no more one-game wild card. I'm really glad to see the one-game wild card go. I don't like that format. It seems like a shame to go through that season.
Whole season for one game.
And it comes down to one game doesn't seem right to me.
You're 1,000,000% correct because baseball is a very unique game. I love all sports, but you put a goal here, you put a goal here, whether it's soccer, basketball, hockey, football, and then when the bell rings and the timer ends, it's over. Baseball is not finite. They got to get you out 27 times.
Yeah.
Okay? Can't defend a walk, can't give a team 5 outs an inning. You could be down 10 runs in the 9th, there's no time clock.
Yep.
That's why that single one-game affair wild card was not good.
It was not good.
Because, look, Tommy Lasorda said it best. No matter how bad you are in baseball, you're going to win a third of your games. No matter how good you are, you're going to lose a third. You catch a guy in that one day.
Yeah.
God, lose a fly ball in the sun, ball goes to your legs.
You didn't find out who the better team was by that one
Not
year.
at all.
Right,
and
I
6
agree.
months, what is your reward for 6 months?
Pat on the back.
Yeah.
Phillies versus Cardinals and then Padres versus Mets.
Mets haven't been playing good, though.
No, they haven't.
Jesus,
Dodgers and Braves have the bye. Who do you like, Phillies and Cardinals? Who do you like?
I love St. Louis, and I love everything about their culture. They're built for this.
And they're having that magical with Albert. It's just you can't. It's like destiny, right? Like the Cardinals are dangerous.
The Phillies fired their manager mid-season, and it happened to work. Right?
Yeah,
but they got issues, and so I like St. Louis.
How
I want to get some odds, guys, while you guys are talking about
and
this.
And then, Bernie, what do you think about Padres Mets? Mets have obviously been rocky lately.
This is a weird one for me, but in a short series like that, I just could not go against that rotation.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with DeGrom. But you still got Scherzer.
When he first came back, he looked great.
True. True. You don't know what the issues are.
Maybe a little dead arm, just because he missed so much time
I
or
was
something.
really mad at Tatis when he walks into the clubhouse and has that situation. Dude's got a body of work now, right? He had the motorcycle accident last November.
Yeah.
Doesn't tell anybody. The Padres find out a week before spring training in March. Come on, man. You just signed the big dollars.
Yeah.
So now he's out, and then he comes back. And that substance, you have to know what that is. There was a player, was it not D. Gordon? I don't want to say the wrong name, for the Marlins, suspended for the same substance 5 years ago. It
might have been D.
Might have been.
It might have been, but I love D. Gordon.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just drawing a parallel that Tatis can't really say plead stupid. The Padres, they limped across. They got there. They're a surprising team to me. I could not go against the Mets.
Cardinals are 30-1 to win the World Series.
It's worth the bet, man.
Might be worth a peanut.
It's worth the bet. What about just to get there?
I'm sure there's odds on league winner and
probably
stuff.
15-1 to get there.
They're 30-1.
But here's the beauty:
to get there, they're 11.5-1 to get there.
Okay, so here's the beauty: if who would play the Dodgers or which next? So you get the Cardinals at 31; they're going to be a dog in every game against LA, right? You start hedging back, locking in. That's where you come in.
Yeah, and I know these games don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
The Dodgers just lost like 3 in a row by the way, they were 4-1 favorites last night. I actually told my buddy, I said, listen, they have their star pitcher. I said, listen, he's only going to get 2 innings. It's not a bad, I didn't bet it, but it's not a bad bet to take flyers on these games, taking 3-1.
Right.
I mean, they're only going to get 2 innings. They're basing the line on starting pitching, though.
Right.
And I'm just saying, they just lost.
I'm surprised you didn't jump on that.
Worst team in base, not the worst. I don't know, is the Colorado the worst team? But they're one of the worst.
They're up there.
Teams.
Yeah.
I think they were in LA too.
They were.
They lose back to back, and I think the Dodgers were minus 400 both games.
They were.
Just a note, just a side note, as part of the encyclopedia of useless information, in the history of Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
10 times the Dodgers have won 100 games or more during the regular season. 10 times. And in each of those seasons where they won north of 100 games in the regular season, they never won the World Series.
Wow. Interesting. This should be fun.
Wow.
That John's lives and dies Dodgers. So that's his life.
And then Astros and Yankees each get a bye, and then in the American League, and then we've got the Rays versus the Indians and Mariners versus the Blue Jays. Who do you like, Rays versus Indians?
Rays really scuffled. I love that the city of Cleveland. I've been there a lot. It's a great city. Honest to God, the Flats, the Burke Lakefront Airport.
I guess it's the Guardians, right? I guess.
Oh, that's right. It is the Guardians.
I'll always
the
call
Guardians.
I can't help it.
I can't help it either.
No offense to anything.
Yeah, so Tampa Bay scuffled, but I like that club. They find ways to manufacture runs. They don't beat themselves. They throw strikes, they get on base, they go first to third. They do all the little things that are a lost art in baseball. They get you the ground ball to the right side. Fast forward, I think this Astros team is the most complete team, maybe in all of baseball. I think I'd like to see an Astros-Dodgers series.
They are, by the way.
Wait, you don't want to see Yankees-Dodgers?
Sure.
Okay.
You can't beat New York. And as a matter of fact,
wow.
I mean, who can forget 77, 78,
It's time for Yankees-Dodgers. I mean, this would be...
I lived and died those teams. I was living in North Jersey. My grandfather was a big fan. He lived and died Yankees. He used to go watch Babe Ruth in Perth Amboy, New Jersey, Copperworks Field, workout. My grandfather and I sat there when I talked about the different things with my grandfather. We lived and died. I can name every single position player on that team, 77, 78. And you're right.
Those were the great years.
I probably forgot who they played till just now. You're right. The Yankees were playing the Dodgers there. I wasn't even thinking.
If I could wave a magic wand, Dodgers Yankees all day.
Yeah,
twice a day.
But we
never got reconciliation. The Dodgers and Astros and the Chiefs.
Oh, okay. Either one I like.
There's
all right.
a story angle there.
Yeah, you're right.
And if I'm being honest, I think the Astros are a more complete team than the Yankees. But from a fan standpoint,
yeah.
I mean, they just came out with the Uncivil War on ESPN, the 2-hour.
I didn't watch it yet, but I can't wait.
God.
I can't wait. I'm waiting to.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Really? What is it called? Another thing I got to put my
The Uncivil War. It's Dodgers versus Yankees rivalry over the years.
It takes you deep in the cookie jar with Billy Martin and George Steinbrenner,
Love that.
Reggie Jackson, and the whole
Reggie going into the thing, yelling at Martin,
and
to fight him.
Gossage hitting Say in the head. Right?
Yeah.
What was that, 81?
Well, that was 81.
81.
It was strike shortened, but 77, 78 was when Reggie hit the 3 dingers.
Yeah.
3 different pitches.
Sure.
77. Yeah. So I was living in Anaheim Hills then, right?
Wow.
Diehard Dodger fan.
Yeah.
I really honestly did not.
You're rocking Dodger Blue today.
Hey,
there you go.
Who knew?
So you were a Dodger fan and an Angels fan?
Sure, I grew up in SoCal, yeah.
Wow.
I like that.
I was probably, I lean more Angels because I grew up right next door in Anaheim. But there was something about the Dodger mystique, Vero Beach, Dodger Town, Vin Scully. Oh, hi, everybody. Dodger dogs, right?
Yeah.
They sell 2 million Dodger dogs a year. No other stadium sells more than 1 million. I did a feature on that on my show.
Unbelievable.
Dodger dog, yeah.
That's unbelievable. They sell double what like Yankee Stadium selling.
Here's how honorable the Dodgers are. They wanted to call them footlongs. I go, we can't call them footlongs. They're only 10.5 inches. They didn't call them footlongs.
Oh, my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bernie, I know you have to be somewhere.
Keep going.
We're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, getting some stuff with his dad.
Yeah, all right.
Tell him, ask him, like, you came in the studio. What did you say? Hey, that your dad, I know this.
Well, first of all, in the mid-'70s, when I was a teenager, Tony Orlando and Dawn, where's Dawn these days, by the way? She's still with us?
Dawn is 2 girls. Dawn is Thelma Hopkins, who's probably the longest-running sitcom star ever. I mean, she was on Bosom Buddies.
I knew that and I forgot.
Give Me a Break. Well, she with Nell Carter. She was on Family Matters. She was Urkel's Aunt Addie. And then she was on Half and Half with Cindy Williams from Laverne and Shirley. And then I probably missed 3 or 4 other major shows of Thelma. Thelma's never come off of TV
I have
since
the most
73.
eclectic music taste, and all my bumper music on my show is Motown, right? There's a reason behind that. But so in the mid-'70s, I'm sorry, Tony Orlando owned the airwaves. He was instant box office.
Yeah.
He had multiple hits. And he would do the Christmas special. Still's got the Christmas album.
And he had his own show for years on network
Always.
TV.
Yes.
Yeah.
Giant stars. Giant. Opened up with Jackie Gleason. I mean, I can go on and on. He talked about that. He sat right here and talked about that. He had a giant show on one of the only networks. There was only 4 stations at the time. ABC, NBC, CBS, PBS. That's it.
That's right.
Anyway, go ahead. Finish. Sorry.
I shouldn't be outing myself like this, but what the hell? Just between us.
Yeah.
So before games, I would listen to music that would put me in a proper frame of mind to go out and compete, whether it's high school football, baseball, all the way. And a lot of them were Tony Orlando songs.
Wait,
right?
Listening to Tony Orlando songs
can't make this up, folks.
puts you in the proper mindset to compete in athletic competition.
Well, you want to be mentally focused. You want to be relaxed.
Well, your dad's gonna love this.
You want to hear Josh Allen, the quarterback of the Bills.
Sure.
He talked about this in his pregame list. I'm going, this guy's an old soul. He didn't listen to anything after 1977.
Wow.
So anyway.
Well, that's like Josh Reddick. His walk-up song was Careless Whisper for a while, so maybe you're onto something.
We had him on the show.
Look, it's all about getting in a framework of mind, right? So we all know Tony had the huge hits, right? Knock 3 times, Candida, all that.
You know the obscure ones, though.
Well, 2 of my favorite ones were Morning Beautiful and What Are You Doing Sunday?
What Are You Doing Sunday?
Saturday, yeah. Would You Like to Marry
Sunday?
Me?
Yeah.
You can play that now. It's a vibe.
That's a good song.
Wow.
Yeah, they all were. They just were. And then the Christmas album, and
I didn't know he had a Christmas album.
Yeah,
he still sells it.
Yeah,
wow.
Still sells it. And
I can't believe he
does a WABC show still right on Saturday nights from New York.
I gotta tell you, there's many times I will see. I'll go to the South Point to see shows now and then because I'm a musical guy.
He's there.
Yeah, I know, but. The main reason I want to go is I want to go up and say hello.
Have you ever met him?
No.
You've never met my dad?
No one likes to name dropper, but I've been a bazillion frickin' people, and that's what Norm Clark wrote. No, and I'm a huge fan.
So Bernie, let me ask you this: I know you have to be somewhere 11:30, right?
We'll be all right.
So we can wrap up with you in the next 5 minutes, then we'll finish the rest of the show. What are you doing this evening, Bernie?
What are you doing tonight?
What if I told you?
Going to have dinner with my wife.
Where are you going to go?
Probably our living room. I mean, our kitchen.
Would you go bring her out? Would you bring her out tonight?
Well, I got to call her. What do we got?
Tony Orlando's in town.
Yeah?
We're already having dinner with
We're having dinner with him.
Where are you guys having dinner at?
I don't know. Let's figure it out.
We don't know that yet.
But you're coming.
You're coming.
You're coming tonight.
All right, I got to call my wife. What time?
We don't know yet.
I don't know. 7, whatever.
7?
7 o'clock, where?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you'd like, it's an invitation. If you can't make it,
I'm going to do, okay, and shame on me if I can't. Unless she has something else planned,
okay,
we'll do it. But I can't bust it up. But if not tonight, can we put a rain check on it?
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll text you in the next hour.
Yeah.
All right.
So
I like it.
And if not, though, next time he's there, when's he there next?
I think January.
In January, you come see him. And
there's plenty of restaurants right at the South Point.
You know what I'm saying? We can go backstage with him, right?
Yeah.
He can go backstage and meet him.
Forgive me if but no, it's a privilege, and I meant everything I said.
I know.
I think I even said something to you on the phone yesterday when we were talking to you. John, yeah, great. I'm looking good.
You did. You did.
It's amazing. All
Listen,
right.
we can go on and on.
Let's say goodbye to you.
Thank you for
being on the show today.
It's an honor. We're going to do a break here. By the way, we can have him on again. We didn't even finish
we will. We didn't finish with him. Yeah, but I tell you what.
And tell people where they can hear you.
Yeah, where do they hear you?
Well, like our good man Crackman, I'm with Fox Sports Radio National. I'm syndicated on 500 stations, Sirius XM Channel 83. I have a show Friday night from 11 p.m. Pacific to 2 a.m. And then I come back Saturday night, 11 p.m. Pacific to 3 a.m.
Wonderful.
And having the time of my life. I've been going on my 5th year at Fox. Told Scott Shapiro we were doing this today. He goes, sweet, send me a nice text.
Oh, nice.
Double sweet, and,
nice.
And so, yeah, Fox Sports Radio.
All right, so look for that, guys, and we're going to take a short break. We're going to tell you about Crack Wins, and we're going to tell you about WSN.com, and then we'll be right back.
All right.
Hey, guys, it's time to tell you about Crack Wins. That's right. It's that time of day. Download the Crack Wins app. It's that time of the season, I should say. You got a lot going on. NFL's in full swing. Baseball playoffs about to start. There is money to be made.
Another big week last week. I hate to say it. I'm not a guy who talks about like last week or last 5 days.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the season. We're 4 weeks in here, 5 weeks for college. And we're destroying it. So I'm just saying, it's just.
Is it possible? I don't even say. I'm not going to say.
The first week was 21-7 between sides, totals, props in NFL and college. Last week was phenomenal. I think we were 8-2, and the NFL has been great. The props and the primetime props, and though we did have a teaser that lost on Monday night. Rams. I thought, it's good mathematically to take a teaser through the key numbers of 3 and 7, especially the lowest total of like the year, one of the lowest totals, down to like 40, 42. But the Rams have proven that they're not the Super Bowl team they were last year.
Right.
So, anyway, yeah. But listen, who talks about losers? Yeah, me.
You do. Because you're honest. You're transparent.
We're killing them.
Let me ask you this: is it possible? I don't want to put pressure on you, but is it possible that you end up eating your own words? You were something like 65% last year.
Yeah.
64. Is it possible? You still say no.
No.
But you're there right now.
I'm there now. But no. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I'll be happy with it. 60% season is ridiculous. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So
listen,
anyway,
guys,
we got everything.
Download the Crack Wins app. It's on Apple. It's on Google Play. Or just go to crackwins.com if you want to get the app, and you can sign up and you can start making some money and build that bankroll off of Crack's back.
That's it.
Yeah. And then after you do that, head on over to WSN.com where this man is right now as we speak.
Yeah. Again, guys, you know what I think about this site. They just negotiate the best bonuses. We'll start right off the top. I'm on their homepage. You literally just click on the state guide. I like clicking on the state guides because you can click on bonuses. You can see all the bonuses they have, but it has to be unique for your state where you're going to sign up. By the way, you don't have to live in that state. People don't know that. One of the biggest questions I get asked: hey, I see this bonus on WSN in New Jersey, but I live in New York or I live in Delaware. I'm coming. It doesn't matter where you live. To give your license, you have to just make the bets in that state's jurisdiction. So we'll go right to New Jersey here. New Jersey, this is literally, I'm going to give you the bets, the bonuses. FanDuel, $1,000, no sweat first bet. Caesars, $1,250 first bet. DraftKings, $1,000 deposit bonus. I love them. You just get an instant bonus. Bet365, BetMGM, $1,000 risk-free bet. PointsBet, 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Tipico, Unibet, BetRivers, Hard Rock, Borgata, Golden Nugget, all $100 to $250 to $500 in free bonuses, guys. Again, they're negotiating bonuses here that a lot of them you can't even get going directly just doing a Google search. WSN.com. For that. Now, there is, of course, the great articles every single week, literally every day, literally new articles on betting tips and NFL stuff. Of course, the sportsbook bonuses state by state. Of course, our podcast. You can watch every one of our podcasts right there. The Major League Baseball picks and predictions, playoffs, soccer stuff, golf. I could just go on and on. Tennis, U.S. sports betting news. What's going on? What's going on in California? It doesn't look that good right now for sports betting. The commercials they're putting out, oh my God, it's like a war out in California here. But there's articles about Maryland, Kentucky, different bonuses still that are going to be negotiated for you. There's 2 articles on FanDuel and Caesars bonuses just on that section too. The New York sports betting handle, still great, not as good as it was. Great article on that. Again, all this stuff right on WSN.com.
Well said. Loved having Bernie on the show.
He was great. We can have him on again.
Where you been hiding him? I don't understand this. He's
I've
local.
known him for years, and he's grown and grown and grown, and now he has his own show 2 nights a week, nationwide radio, 500 stations. God bless him.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to big topic numbers. I kind of like this format. This was kind of fun so far.
Different.
Bouncing around a little bit. Okay, big. I'm gonna botch this guy's last name. Hopefully you know Tua from the Dolphins from Miami.
Yeah, I just say Tua.
All right.
Yeah. Tagovailoa.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, sold. So the NFLPA fired the doctor that evaluated him after the first concussion.
Good.
Do you think there's going to be an overreaction against Miami bets, kind of like there was with the Cowboys with Dak?
I don't think so. I really don't. I think, listen, it did happen, though. This is drawing a big spotlight on this. I tell you, going forward, I don't think this will happen again.
I agree with you.
They're going to take this much more serious.
Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, and then while we're talking about Dallas, so let me ask you this. If Dak Prescott came back tomorrow, who's the starting quarterback?
No question, Dak.
It's Dak?
Yeah.
But this guy's doing
Don't listen
great.
to Jerry Jones. He just starts trouble. He's just trying to start controversy.
With the money he's playing.
Yeah, no, it's Dak.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so
he's their money man.
Okay, so let me ask you, I mean, it's not going to go down this way, but just hypothetically. Dak comes back next week, hypothetically, loses the game.
Right.
Now what? Dak again?
Yeah.
Come on!
Yeah.
Really?
What, they give him $150 million?
Something crazy, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I know you're not a huge UFC fan, but I'm on a mission in 2023. We're gonna convert you from boxing to UFC.
I don't know these guys' names, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, well, these are a little obscure. You got to be super diehard.
Oh, you do?
I mean, Mackenzie Dern is a pretty well-known fighter, and then again, here I go with another name that I'm going to botch. You know, Yan. But there was a little bit of controversy. A lot of people were saying that there was a 10-8 round. 10-8 rounds. It's so weird. It's obviously so subjective when it comes to judging fighting, especially with MMA. There's so much going on when they start to get on the ground. And
10-8 in a boxing match means someone gets knocked down.
Correct.
Yeah.
So in MMA, it's not like that because when you get knocked down, it's still live. You're still playing. You're still fighting. Yeah. So a lot of people think it was a little controversial. 47-47. Maybe it should have been a draw. Instead, Mackenzie Dern losing was a pretty big upset. Like I want to say the girl was maybe plus 300 or something. I mean, it was kind of a pretty big upset. Rob's typing it in right now. The line closed at plus 200. Sorry, but that's still a big upset.
Yeah,
plus 200 in a title not a title, but in a main event
for sure.
But
I'll go on a UFC thing here right now.
Yeah,
I watched an interview with I watched a Tucker Carlson interview.
With Dana. Yeah.
Blew me away.
Yeah.
I thought Dana was unbelievable.
He's unbelievable.
He's so American. I know I may get some people upset at this, but
I had him on Action Junkies.
I know you did. That's what I'm going to bring up.
Yeah.
By the way, I have no side in this battle. CNN, Fox. I watch news once in a while. I don't care. I'm not political. I don't care. I thought he's so American. I love this guy. You had him here on Action Junkies. You had him on the show. Fantastic.
So
good
nice.
For you.
He is so nice.
That's so great. He came in. He sat right here.
Crazy? He sat right. Yeah. He's actually sat right there. Okay. I sat there, and you know what's wild is it took me. I've known him 8 years.
Right.
I've never hung out with him socially until recently, actually, but since the podcast, not before.
Yep.
And I always felt like Action Junkies, I felt like I wanted to deserve him. I wanted to not, and I'm not even saying we got there, but I'm saying 5 years in, it just got to a point I was like, when it was episode 200 coming up, let me just take a shot. And I watched up to him at a fight, and I said, Dana, my Action Junkies podcast, I got episode 200 coming up. And he goes, oh, congratulations. And I said, you have to be the guest. Bill, as a matter of fact, I chickened out of asking him for 2 weeks in a row. Right. So we were at 199. So we put out episode 199.1 and then 199.2. So I told Dana, I said, I chickened out. I was supposed to ask you. And so I said, I'll go to 199.199 if that's what it takes.
Right.
You're going to be episode 200. And he laughed and he said, okay. So then I had Jake on since I started the show with Jake and Adam. So the four of us were on. And I opened up and I said, Jake, 5 years ago, we used to dream about having Dana White on the show. Dana cuts me off and he goes, 5 years you've been doing this? You just asked me for the first time a week ago.
Wow.
Wasn't that nice, though?
So nice.
What a nice guy.
What a good guy, man.
Shout out to Dana White.
Yeah.
Okay. What else?
Just the end. We're going to wrap up here with some sports betting stuff. And
tell me.
How are the books doing so far? Absolutely killing it. I don't want to hear you guys lost Sunday. They said they lost Sunday in the NFL.
Right.
Give me a break. How much money you guys have made these first 4 weeks of NFL?
Miami. How much did Miami, the Jets? I mean, a lot of teams.
Green
made
Bay,
them
everyone
money.
teased them. I understand.
Right.
They got overtime. Was that overtime? I think it was overtime.
Yeah.
They won in overtime. That was a big loss for the books. People put the money line. Everyone throws the 10-point favorite, 9.5-point favorite in their money line parlays too. So I guess it did hurt a little bit, but trust me, no one's collecting buckets outside. For the sports from the bookmakers. Listen. I put a tweet up. I don't know if you did see it. You retweeted it.
Yeah.
It was a little meme. Is that called a meme? Meme?
Yeah.
Meme. Of me talking about Under Pressure, the Queen David Bowie song about. I got limited to $49 at one of the sports books.
Which is like laughable.
$49. But let me be fair.
Yeah. I
lasted longer than a lot of other people. I had Banchero there. I won 6 figures that. I won $80,000 on a golf tournament. I started out losing $50,000 with them, so you have to understand. I lost $50,000. They were maybe thinking this account maybe a little bit square. First month, lose $50,000. Gave me a nice $10,000 bonus cash, by the way. $10,000 bonus cash. Put 50 in, got 60. Ran it up. Never took a withdrawal because I figured taking a withdrawal usually is the flag. By the way, when you take a withdrawal, they look at the account more. They put the magnifying glass out. Oh, this guy's taking a withdrawal. He won. So ran it up to a ridiculous 6-figure balance, and now they throw me out. So that's okay. $49, it's okay. But
like when you say a ridiculous
$49 max, $6 here the other night was $6.
Yeah, but when you say you ran it up to a ridiculous 6-figure balance,
with the pending bets,
how north in the six?
400.
Oh
yeah.
I love that you tell me that.
Yeah, no, and they've been.
You
good
say that so casually. 400.
Yeah, it's all pending though on futures. It's all pending.
I gotcha.
I bet all futures, so it doesn't look real to me right now.
Okay.
I literally bet it all on futures, and I have positive EV, expected value, on every single one of these bets though. But I'm not even mad. But you have to realize, Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. Do you know how easy it is to beard into the sports books? Do you guys realize how easy it is? You want to limit us to $6 and $29, $49. You know how easy it is for me now to open up in John Orlando's name, and John opens up and literally, gets your bonus, maybe even a big giant bonus, get your big bonus, and now you don't know it's me. Now you think it's John Orlando before you find out he's sharp because I'm giving him the advice of what to bet. I'm not even betting. I'm not touching the app. I'm not doing anything illegal or unethical.
Sure.
I am betting through you. You're betting. I'm saying, John, take a little piece of these bets. Here you go. Here's the account. You're under your name. John, bet this, bet that, bet this. Take a little piece for yourself. We're just having a little betting partnership.
You could almost argue that you could do more damage that way.
Of course you could.
If they just left you alone.
Of course
because you could have 75 of me.
Of course, all you have to do is just limit me. Give me a dime a play.
Right.
You know it's Bill Krackomberger. You know to overmove your games.
Right.
You know to put the customers on the other side of your bet if you think that I'm that sharp, which I am. But yeah, so now you have to figure out after months and months, this John Orlando's pretty sharp. And that, if they know your history, they know that's not the case. So, sorry. Anyway. My man.
That's one to end on.
Right.
Crack, this was fun.
All right. Great stuff, guys.
We'll do it again next week. Are you back in studio next week, or you're on the road? Who knows? He's a moving target. All right, guys. We'll see you next week on Wise Kracks.